The night air in Port Haven was thick with the scent of pine and distant rain. Inside the small animal clinic on the edge of town, the tension was almost palpable. Dr. Simon Blake paced between the examination table and the supply cabinet, eyes flicking every few seconds to the back room, where the low grunts of labor echoed faintly. "She's starting again," said Tara Jensen, the vet tech, pulling off her gloves. "7th puppy is on its way." Dr. Blake inhaled sharply and nodded. "Vitals still steady?" "Holding. But she's tiring." Rex lay curled on the bedding, her massive chest heaving with effort. The German Shepherd's fur glistened with sweat and moisture. 8 years old, a retired police canine, she had been through more chaos than most humans would ever know. But this, giving birth to her first litter, seemed to demand more from her than any drug raid or hostage call. She whined low in her throat, and Dr. Blake knelt beside her. "You're doing great, girl. Just a little more. You're almost there." Tara stepped back in with warm towels. 7 are breathing, strong heartbeats. All good. The clinic's old clock ticked loudly as minutes dragged on. Then a sudden cry. "Number 8, Tara whispered, reaching down to clear the puppy's airways. Rex licked the newborn immediately, motherly instincts kicking in without hesitation. But then something shifted. Rex froze, her ears tilted back, body stiffened. A guttural growl, low and uncertain, escaped her throat. Dr. Blake furrowed his brow. "What's wrong?" Tara moved toward the last pup, then stopped. Her breath hitched. "Simon, you need to see this. Now." He crossed the room in 2 strides. At first it looked like any other newborn. Wet fur, closed eyes, twitching limbs. But then he saw it. What in the world? The 9th puppy had something protruding from its small shoulder. It looked metallic, tiny, almost surgically implanted. Dr. Blake grabbed a sterile wipe and gently cleaned the area. "That's a microchip," he said, eyes widening. "What?" Tara blinked. "That's not possible. Not a pet ID chip. Look at the casing. It's military grade, encased in titanium. I've only ever seen these in vet journals, never in real life." Rex shifted again, her paw protectively reaching for the puppy. "Scan it," Dr. Blake ordered. Tara rushed to the cabinet and returned with the handheld RFID scanner. She hovered it over the area. A soft beep. "It's live, but encrypted. I can't read it." Dr. Blake looked at Rex. She was staring at him, unmoving, as if she understood. "Simon," Tara said quietly, "Rex didn't come to us through the usual channels. Remember? She was dropped off anonymously, no handler, no badge history. We always assumed she was a retired canine from out of state. But what if she wasn't retired?" Dr. Blake ran a hand through his hair. "We need to make a call." "To who?" "The county." "No, the police? Military? You want to report a microchipped puppy born from a dog that shouldn't even be pregnant?" The room went silent, except for the soft breathing of 9 newborns. Then a loud knock shattered the stillness. Dr. Blake and Tara turned sharply toward the door. The knock came again. Heavy, intentional. Tara whispered, "It's 2 a.m. Who the hell—" Before she could finish, Rex let out a thunderous bark. She jumped to her feet, post-labor fatigue forgotten, standing guard between her pups and the door. Dr. Blake approached the front window cautiously. A black SUV idled in the driveway, headlights off. "Simon," Tara said, reaching for the emergency phone. "Something's wrong." The third knock came, followed by a voice. Calm, male. "Dr. Blake, we need to speak with you, about the dog." He didn't answer. The voice came again. "We know what she carried. Let us in." Rex growled, lips curled, ready to fight. Dr. Blake backed away from the door. "Tara, lock the rear exit, now." She sprinted down the hallway. Rex remained stone still. 9 puppies behind her, eyes never leaving the door. And for the first time in his career, Egon Blake realized he wasn't in a vet emergency. He was in something much bigger. The storm rolled in just past midnight. Thick clouds choked out the moonlight over Port Haven, thunder rumbling low like a warning. Inside the modest ranch house on Oak Ridge Lane, Emily Patterson twisted in bed, uneasy. In the corner of the dim nursery, Rex stood stiff, ears pricked, golden eyes fixed on the door. Baby Noah stirred, a soft coo, then a cry. Emily was up before the second wail. "He's just hungry," she murmured, scooping Noah into her arms. Rex didn't move. His focus stayed locked. Tail down, muscles tight. Emily followed his gaze, nothing but the closed door and hallway beyond. Still, a chill slid across her neck. "Rex?" she whispered. He growled. Low, controlled, not a warning. A decision. Emily clutched Noah tighter. In the kitchen, a thump. She froze. No one else was supposed to be here. Her husband, Jake, was on night shift with the Port Haven PD, and their nearest neighbor was a half-mile away. "Probably the wind," she muttered. She didn't believe it. Rex moved first. Silent. Loping toward the hallway, then down the stairs. His claws barely clicked against the hardwood. Emily followed, Noah still pressed against her chest. Another sound, this time closer. A soft creak. Footsteps? Her heartbeat stuttered. She reached the bottom step just in time to hear Rex let out a deep bark. Sharp. Commanding. Nothing like his usual alert yaps. This was different. This was a challenge. She ducked into the kitchen behind him. Empty. But the back door was wide open. Rex was already at the threshold, nose twitching, stance tense. Then he lunged. Into the dark. "Rex!" She waited, breath caught. Nothing. Then a yelp. It wasn't Rex. She dashed to the door, squinting into the gloom. Lightning flashed, enough to show a figure stumbling away through the backyard, holding one arm, Rex chasing close behind. He was gone in a second. Emily locked the door, trembling. Her hands fumbled for her phone. She called Jake. "There was someone here," she said, voice shaking. "Slow down. What do you mean?" "They broke in. I think Rex bit them. He chased them off." "Are you hurt? Is Noah okay?" "We're fine. Just rattled. I'm on my way." By the time Jake arrived, Rex had returned. His muzzle was streaked with blood, but he was calm. Proud, almost. He padded straight to Noah's crib, laid down, and resumed his watch. Jake examined the yard with his flashlight. "There's blood in the grass," he said grimly. "He nailed him. That's for sure." Emily nodded, arms still around Noah. "He knew. Before it even started. He knew something was off." Jake crouched to pet Rex. "You saved them, buddy." Rex didn't react. His focus stayed on the baby. The police took a report. They would check nearby hospitals for anyone with dog bites. But Jake was skeptical. If this guy's smart, he won't go near a clinic. Not with that kind of injury. Emily didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next morning brought more questions than answers. There were no fingerprints, no sign of forced entry. Just the open door and the blood trail. That should have been it. But it wasn't. Because Rex didn't relax. Not the next day. Not the one after. He refused to leave Noah's side. He barely ate. He only left the baby's room for a few minutes at a time, and even then, reluctantly. His demeanor had changed. He wasn't just alert. He was suspicious, anxious, obsessive. By the third day, Emily noticed something else. Each time she laid Noah in his crib, Rex would press his nose close to the baby's chest. Not just to sniff. He was listening. She crouched beside him. "What are you hearing, boy?" He whined, low, then looked up at her with something close to pleading. "Jake," she said that evening, "I think something's wrong." Jake rubbed his temples. "With Rex?" "No, with Noah." He frowned. "What do you mean?" "Rex, he listens to his chest constantly. It's like he's trying to tell me something." Jake leaned over the crib. Noah was sleeping peacefully, no signs of distress, just the soft, rhythmic rise and fall of a baby's breath. "He looks fine. He is fine," Emily insisted. "But what if he won't be?" Jake gave her a look. You've been through a break-in. You haven't slept in days. You're worried. I get it. But maybe Rex is just traumatized. He's on edge because he knows something bad happened here." She shook her head. "This is different. He's trying to tell us something." Jake sighed. "You want to take Noah to the pediatrician?" "I already made an appointment. Tomorrow." Jake didn't argue. He just nodded. The next morning, Emily loaded Noah into his car seat. Rex jumped into the back without being told. He wouldn't leave the baby. Dr. Sandra Lee, a kind woman in her early 50s, greeted them with a warm smile. Emily explained everything. The break-in, Rex's behavior, his obsession with Noah's chest. Dr. Lee nodded, thoughtful. "Let's take a look." She ran a standard exam. Noah was smiling, cooing, grabbing at her stethoscope. Everything appeared normal. But then she frowned. Emily straightened. "What is it?" "His heart rhythm. There's something odd." She listened again. Longer this time. "I want to run a quick EKG, just to be safe." 15 minutes later, the results were back. Dr. Lee's face was pale. Emily's stomach dropped. "What's wrong?" "Your dog may have saved your baby's life." "What?" "There's a rare congenital heart condition. Most babies don't show symptoms until it's too late. But I'm seeing early warning signs now. Arrhythmia, inconsistent beats. It's subtle, but it's there." She looked stunned. "Rex, somehow he must have heard it. That's what he was fixated on." Emily's knees gave out. She dropped into a chair. Dr. Lee smiled gently. "We caught it in time. I'll refer you to a pediatric cardiologist. They'll run more tests. But the good news is, we can act before anything severe happens." Emily buried her face in her hands. "I thought he was being paranoid. I thought—" "You have one very special dog," Dr. Lee said. Rex wagged his tail softly, watching Noah, still guarding. Emily reached over, pulled him close. "I'll never doubt you again." She meant it. The hospital room was quiet, but Emily's thoughts raced. The monitors beside Noah's crib beeped in a slow, steady rhythm, matching the rise and fall of his chest. She watched every breath, counting them over and over. The cardiologist had confirmed Dr. Lee's suspicion, a condition called Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. Rare, dangerous, but treatable. Rex lay curled beside the hospital bed, his head resting on his paws, eyes open, always watching. He hadn't left Noah's side since they were admitted. Not once. A nurse entered. "He's the one who noticed something was wrong?" Emily nodded. "He wouldn't stop listening to his chest. Just staring at it. He knew." The nurse smiled, crouched down, and scratched behind Rex's ears. "Good boy." Rex didn't flinch. His attention was still on Noah. "Your pediatric cardiologist will be in at 8. She added, "Try to get some rest." But Emily couldn't. Something still felt off. The break-in, Rex's behavior, now this heart condition, it was too much coincidence. She pulled out her phone and scrolled back through the security footage Jake had installed after the incident. Motion detection, backyard, night of the break-in. There. A flash of movement, grainy but clear enough. A figure, crouched low, trying to avoid the camera, not just a random burglar. He knew the layout. She zoomed in. He was wearing gloves. Why would a petty thief wear gloves in a sleepy Oregon town like Port Haven? Her phone buzzed. Jake. "Hey, you okay?" "Noah's stable. Cardiologist will update us later. But Jake, I think the break-in wasn't random." A pause. "I've been thinking that too." Emily's heart skipped. "There's something else," Jake said. "We found boot prints near the fence line. Heavy treads, military style. Whoever it was, they weren't just here for the TV. And Rex bit him. There must be DNA." Jake hesitated. "We sent the blood sample to the lab. Results came back this morning." "And? You're not going to believe this. The DNA matches a suspect in an unsolved case from 2 years ago." Emily went cold. "What kind of case?" "Animal trafficking." Her knees buckled. She gripped the hospital chair. "You think they were after Rex?" She whispered. "We can't be sure. But Emily, Rex was rescued from a training facility under investigation for illegal breeding and sales. You remember that?" She did. Of course she did. 2 years ago they'd adopted Rex after he'd been seized in a raid. Malnourished, burned, but unbreakable. "We never told anyone," she said slowly. "How would they know he's here?" Jake sighed. "That's what worries me." Emily stood. "We need to go home." No, not yet. Let the doctors finish the tests." "Jake, if someone's after Rex, then this isn't just about Noah's heart. They came back for him, and they may come again." She turned to Rex. His ears perked, like he understood. He stood, ready. Jake arrived at the hospital 20 minutes later, his face grim. "They're not just traffickers. The guy Rex bit, he's connected to a handler named Frank Delano, former K-9 contractor, dishonorably discharged. Word is he's been trying to rebuild his business. Using dogs like Rex," Emily said, her voice low. Jake nodded. "And selling them to the highest bidder. Cartels, smugglers, private militias." Emily looked at Rex, who was now pacing near the door, impatient. "They want him back." Jake met her eyes. "They're not going to get him." As if on cue, Rex growled, low, focused. Then he lunged at the hospital window. Emily jumped, spun around. Across the parking lot, a man stood by a black SUV. Staring up, watching. When he saw them notice, he turned and got into the car. It peeled away. Jake grabbed his radio. "We've got a possible target outside St. Anne's. Black Suburban, Oregon plates." Emily turned to Rex. He was still at the window, tail high, barking. Not out of fear, out of fury. Hours later, back at home, Jake set up extra cameras and reinforced the back doors. But Rex wouldn't calm down. He paced the living room, growling at shadows, constantly checking Noah's crib. His protective instincts had gone into overdrive. That night, Emily rocked Noah in her arms. "I don't think they were just watching," she whispered. "I think they were planning something." She looked down at Rex lying at her feet. "But you won't let it happen, will you?" Rex raised his head, a low, almost human-sounding huff. A knock at the door shattered the quiet. Jake reached for his sidearm. Emily froze. But it wasn't Delano. It was a woman, mid-30s, military haircut, civilian clothes. She raised her hands. "My name's Tara Nguyen. I used to work in the same unit that trained Rex. I think he remembers me." Jake didn't lower the gun. "Why are you here?" "Because you're in danger. And so is that dog." Rex emerged behind Jake, sniffed once, then, shockingly, wagged his tail. Emily gasped. "He knows her." "I helped raise him," Tara said, "back before everything went to hell." Jake narrowed his eyes. "Start talking." Tara took a breath. "Delano's not just trafficking dogs, he's experimenting, modifying training methods, drugging them, trying to build a new kind of war dog. Rex was one of his first, but Rex broke conditioning. He escaped, with my help." Emily covered her mouth. "And now he wants him back." Tara nodded. "Because Rex is proof that his methods failed, and that makes him dangerous." Jake stepped back, stunned. Tara's voice dropped. "Listen to me carefully. He won't stop. He'll send more, smarter, better equipped. You need to be ready." Emily glanced at Rex. He was standing between them. Not afraid, not uncertain. A soldier, a protector, a survivor. And now, a target. Rain slammed against the windows like fists. The farmhouse was dark except for a low amber glow from the kitchen. Jake sat at the table, cleaning his Glock. Emily stood over the sink, warming a bottle for Noah. Tara paced the room, her boots leaving wet prints on the hardwood. Rex sat in the doorway, completely still. His eyes never moved from the front door, every muscle coiled, ready. "We have to move him," Tara said suddenly. Jake looked up. "You mean Rex?" "No, the baby." Emily turned, alarmed. "What? Why?" Tara didn't flinch. "Because Delano won't come for Rex in the middle of the woods. He'll wait. He'll watch. He'll look for your weak spot." Noah cried softly. Emily picked him up, rocked him. "Delano's watching us already," Tara continued. "We saw that outside the hospital. That wasn't a warning. That was surveillance." Jake set the gun down. "Then we hit first." "No," Tara said. "We disappear. You said he won't stop." "He won't," she agreed. "But Rex can lead us to him. We just have to give him the trail." Emily stared at her. "What does that even mean?" Tara pulled a USB drive from her jacket. "Rex was trained for scent recovery and object tracking, at distances most dogs can't even comprehend. This," she held it up, "has chemical data from Delano's facility, and scent samples." "You kept his scent on file?" Jake asked. "I kept everything. I always knew this day might come." She dropped the USB onto the table. "I've got a lead. A name. Someone local. A vet." Jake raised an eyebrow. "A vet?" "Dr. Alcott. Quiet, private, but he's patched up more dogs than the local shelters combined. I tracked one of Delano's shipments to his clinic 2 weeks ago. Crates, marked for training assets." Rex shifted at the word crate. Emily noticed. "He knows that word." "Too well," Tara said quietly. Jake stood. "We check out the vet." "Not all of us," Tara said. "You two stay here with Noah. Let Rex and me do what we were trained to do." Rex rose immediately, his tail stiff, ears alert. Emily stepped in front of the door. "No, I'm coming." "Emily." Jake started. She looked at him. "This started with my son, my dog, my house. I'm not sitting on the sidelines." Tara studied her for a long second, then gave a single nod. "Then let's move." 2 hours later, they parked across the street from Alcott Animal Care. A modest, single-story building tucked between an abandoned feed store and a gravel lot. Lights were on inside, despite the late hour. Unusual for a rural vet to work past midnight, Tara muttered. Rex sat in the back seat, nose pressed to the window. "Let him out," Tara whispered. Emily opened the door. Rex stepped out into the rain, sniffed the air, then lowered his head to the asphalt. He walked forward, slow but deliberate, nose skimming the ground, right to the back alley. They followed in silence. Behind the building, a door, locked. Jake reached for the knob. "Wait," Tara said. "Let Rex." Rex sniffed once, whined, then pressed his paw to the bottom of the doorframe. A soft clink echoed. Something metal. Jake bent down. A motion sensor. Barely visible. Booby-trapped. "Tripwire," he said. "Not standard vet security." Tara looked up at a vent above the door. "Give me a boost." Jake cupped his hands, lifted her. She pried open the vent cover and slid in like a shadow. Minutes passed. Then a faint clunk. The back door clicked open. They stepped into the darkness. The smell hit first. Disinfectant. Bleach. And blood. They moved through the hallway, past empty kennels, into a back room. Tables, surgical lights, and cages. 3 dogs, emaciated, trembled in the far corner. One had scars across its flank. Another wore a muzzle bolted shut. Emily covered her mouth. "My God!" Rex let out a low, guttural growl. Tara moved to the counter. "Files," she said. "Shipping records. Look." Jake scanned the papers. Delano's name was there, and below it a coded reference, K909 Rex Dam. He froze. "Rex Dam?" Emily whispered. "What does that mean?" Tara's voice cracked. "It means Rex was bred." Emily felt the floor tilt. "You're saying these puppies weren't just a surprise?" Tara finished. "They were planned." Jake turned to her. "How is that even possible? He was neutered." Tara nodded slowly. "Or so we thought. But if Delano still had access to him before the raid, it's possible. They froze samples. Used them later." Emily staggered back. "Oh my God. The puppies are genetically linked to Rex, and likely part of Delano's next generation." Just then the front bell jingled. Footsteps. Voices. Someone was coming in. Jake flicked the lights off. "We need to move." They ducked behind the equipment. 2 men entered. One held a clipboard. "Shipment's ready," he said. "Delano wants them in Carson by sunrise." "We should have moved faster," the other replied. "That family knows." Emily clenched her fists. Tara caught her gaze. Rex growled again, silent but intense. They were 5 feet from the cages. Tara made a decision. "Now!" She burst out, slamming one guard into the wall. Jake tackled the second. The room exploded in chaos. Emily grabbed a syringe and jammed it into one attacker's thigh. He dropped. Rex lunged, catching the other's sleeve, yanking him to the ground. In 30 seconds, it was over. Tara cuffed both men with zip ties. Jake picked up the radio. "Sheriff's Department, we need backup at Alcott Clinic. Evidence of illegal trafficking and assault." Emily stared at the crates in the corner. One had a pup inside, tiny, black fur, just like Rex. And in its mouth, a tracking chip. Still blinking. She lifted it gently. Rex approached, nuzzled the puppy, then looked up. Not fear. Recognition, connection. Tara whispered, "That's why Delano wants them back. They're not just puppies." Jake stared at the blinking chip. "They're proof." Emily looked at Rex, then the puppy, then the files. They're weapons. And they had just intercepted the first wave. The emergency lights in the clinic pulsed red, casting long shadows across the room. Police sirens wailed in the distance, but Tara didn't relax. Not yet. Jake paced. Emily cradled the smallest pup, wrapped in a clean towel. Rex sat between them, his gaze locked on the open door. Tense. Unmoving. "They're coming," Tara said. "And not just the cops." Emily looked up. "You mean Delano?" "No. Whoever's above him. This—" She held up the folder they'd taken from the desk. "This isn't just about dogs. This is military-grade genetics, behavioral modification, controlled aggression. These aren't pets." Jake cursed under his breath. "We need to leave. Now." "Agreed," Tara said. "The police will take hours to process this scene. We can't be here when the next team shows up." "What about the puppies?" Emily asked. Tara didn't hesitate. "We take them." Jake stared at her. "We can't move 8 dogs." "We don't," she replied. "We move 1. Everyone turned to her. "Only one of these pups is implanted," she explained. "The one Emily's holding. The others were decoys. Genetic siblings, yes, but this one, this is the prototype." Emily looked down at the tiny German shepherd, its dark eyes blinking slowly. "He's barely alive." "But alive," Tara said. "That's enough." The group gathered what they could. A burner phone, flash drive, spare vests. Tara opened the back door. Rain poured down, slicking the pavement. Rex moved first, then Emily, puppy tight against her chest. They reached the SUV. Just as Jake opened the trunk, Tara froze. Across the street, headlights flared. Too fast, too sharp. "Move!" she barked. Gunfire ripped through the air. Glass shattered. Jake shoved Emily into the car, shielding her. Rex bolted sideways, flanking instinctively. Tara fired back, one-handed, covering their retreat. The SUV roared to life. Tires screamed. They peeled away as the black sedan behind them gave chase. "Where's Rex?" Emily cried. Before anyone could answer, a blur darted from the alley. Rex leapt, teeth bared, slamming against the sedan's front tire. The car veered, overcorrected, and slammed into a utility pole. Silence. Tara skidded the SUV to a stop. Jake jumped out. "Rex!" The shepherd limped from the wreckage, his front leg bloody but steady. Jake scooped him up, holding him tight against his chest. "You're insane," Jake muttered, voice breaking. "You beautiful idiot." Back in the car, Tara floored it again. They didn't stop until they reached a shuttered cabin in the hills, one of Tara's old safe houses. No electricity, no cell signal, but shelter. Inside, they laid Rex on a wool blanket. Emily disinfected the wound. It wasn't deep, but it would leave a scar. "He saved us," she whispered. Tara watched the flickering lantern light dance across the walls. "He always does." Jake set the injured puppy beside Rex. The older dog licked the pup gently, then curled his body around it. A protective wall. Emily sat, exhausted. "So what now?" Tara spread the documents across the floor. "This project started 10 years ago," she said. "DARPA funded early prototypes, canine cognitive manipulation, enhanced scent tracking, obedience hacking." "Obedience hacking?" Jake asked. "Neural reconditioning. They're not training the dogs. They're rewiring them." Emily flinched. "That's why Rex reacts to certain words." "Yes," Tara said. "Delano embedded trigger phrases, direct behavioral cues. Most handlers never knew. Rex's memory retention rejected the programming. But these puppies—" She looked at the pup. "They're born into it." Jake stared at the files. "And you think this is still active?" "Worse. I think it's gone private. Military didn't approve full deployment, so Delano sold it to someone who would." Emily stood, walked to the window. Outside, nothing but trees and fog. "So, who's the buyer?" Tara didn't answer. Instead, she picked up a photo from the file. A surveillance image. Delano shaking hands with a man in a white lab coat. Beneath it, a handwritten name. Dr. Whitaker. Jake read it. "The same Whitaker who trained Rex?" "Yes." Emily's voice dropped. "He was part of it?" Tara nodded. "Maybe the architect." Outside, a branch snapped. All three turned. Jake moved to the door, gun drawn. A minute passed, then 2. A knock. 3 soft raps. Tara's blood went cold. "That pattern!" Emily's eyes widened. "That's Rex's old command cue, the one the trainer used to unlock aggression." Jake opened the door. No one. Just an envelope on the porch. Tara grabbed it, tore it open. Inside, a single photograph. Rex. In a cage. Years ago. And scrawled across the bottom, "He remembers more than you think." Tara looked at Rex. His ears twitched, eyes locked on the photo. Emily's voice broke the silence. "He's not just part of the story." Tara nodded. "He's the key." The fire crackled low in the stone hearth. Outside, the Oregon pines whispered in the wind. Inside, no one spoke. Tara stared at the photo again. Rex in a cage. Younger. Feral. Controlled. Jake leaned on the wall, arms crossed. So Whitaker was behind it all. More than behind it, Tara said. He was their lead behaviorist, the architect of the neural conditioning protocols, the man who built the trigger code Rex was supposed to follow. Emily looked down at the puppy, now asleep beside Rex's paws. And Rex broke free of it. He did. Tara said. But only because they underestimated him. His cognitive resistance was off the charts. They called him the anomaly. Jake paced. Why would Whitaker resurface now, after all these years? Because the program's relaunching. Tara said. Privatized, off books, and this time there are no ethical reviews to stop it. Emily sat up straighter. So what's next? We go to Whitaker, Tara said. Jake stared at her. Are you serious? You just said he started all this. I am serious, she replied, because I think he's trying to stop it. Silence. Rex shifted. His head lifted, ears perked. He left the photo. He knew the knock pattern. He's sending a message. Emily whispered, He wants us to find him. Tara nodded. We leave at first light. They hit the road before dawn. The address scrawled on the back of the photo led them northeast to a rural town in Idaho. Nothing on the map. No cell signal. Just gravel roads and thick trees. Rex rode shotgun, nose twitching at every bend in the road. Jake glanced back at the puppy, nestled in a padded crate beside Emily. He hasn't made a sound in hours. He's alert, Emily said. He knows we're getting close. The jeeps died 10 miles out. From there, Tara followed instinct and faded memory. She had met Whitaker once, years ago, before she left the army. He was brilliant, cold, calculated, but not heartless. The sun crested the horizon when the cabin appeared. Small, isolated, weathered wood and a wraparound porch. A single chimney puffed smoke into the crisp air. Jake parked behind a cluster of trees. Tara stepped out first. No weapons visible. Let me go in alone. Rex disagreed. He growled low in his throat and pressed against her leg. Okay, she whispered. You too. They approached slowly. The door creaked open before she knocked. Dr. Whitaker stood there. Older. Thinner. White hair and wire-frame glasses. He held a mug of coffee and didn't look surprised. I wondered how long it would take. Rex froze, then growled. Whitaker met his eyes. Hello, old friend. Tara stepped forward. You left the photo. I did. Why? Whitaker stepped aside. Because I want to stop this as much as you do. Inside, the cabin was sparse but organized. Books, computers, medical journals stacked in piles. On the wall, a corkboard filled with photos, maps, and red string. Jake and Emily entered behind them. Emily held the puppy close. It stirred. Whitaker's eyes softened. That one's special. You built it. Tara said. I did, he replied, and I regret every minute of it. Jake crossed his arms. Convince us. Whitaker sighed. The Pentagon cut funding after Phase 1, but a private firm bought the patents, rebranded the program as behavioral security tech, targeted at law enforcement, canines, military contractors. They wanted results, not ethics. He turned to Rex. They wanted more of him, but better. No resistance, no soul. Emily whispered, And the puppy? He's the first successful prototype. Complete behavioral override. Loyal, intelligent, and if activated with the right phrase, unstoppable. Tara stepped forward. What phrase? I don't know. Whitaker said. They change it with each new generation, but the code is in the implant behind the left ear. Jake blinked. Implant? Whitaker nodded. Every pup has one. Nanoscale, remote programmable. We need to remove it, Emily said. Whitaker's eyes darkened. It's not that simple. If the code is already embedded, removing the implant could trigger it. You have to deactivate it first. Tara looked at Rex. Can you do it? Whitaker hesitated. I can try, but I'll need my lab. And time. Jake stepped to the window. Then we better stay quiet. We weren't followed, but they'll come. As if summoned, Rex growled again. A flicker of movement beyond the trees. Tara pulled her sidearm. Incoming. 2 vehicles. Blacked out. Whitaker grabbed a case from under the couch. Inside, syringes, data keys, and a scalpel. Take the dog. Into the cellar. Emily obeyed, vanishing down a narrow stairwell. Rex didn't move. He stood beside Tara, facing the front door. Jake pulled the curtain. They're here. Tires crunched on gravel. Doors slammed. Then silence. A voice called out. Tara Quinn, we just want the animal. Which one? She shouted back. A beat. Both. Tara grinned. Then come get them. Gunfire erupted. The windows blew out. Rex lunged through the broken glass, catching the nearest attacker before he could aim again. Screams echoed. Tara and Jake returned fire, flanking the porch. Whitaker triggered a flash device. White light filled the yard. In the chaos, Tara shouted, Go! Now! Emily burst from the cellar, the puppy in a sling across her chest. They ran, back through the woods, toward the SUV. Rex followed, limping but determined. They reached the vehicle. Emily dove in first, shielding the puppy. Rex hesitated, then turned, back toward the gunfire. No! Jake shouted, Rex! But it was too late. The German shepherd vanished into the trees, teeth bared, eyes blazing. A one-dog army. Tara stared, heart pounding. He's buying us time. Emily wept. He won't make it. Tara gripped the wheel. Then we make it count. They didn't stop driving until the sun went down and the gas light blinked red. Tara's hands clenched the wheel. Her eyes never left the road. Emily kept glancing behind them. Still no tail. Jake scanned the map. Nearest safe zone's 2 towns over. Abandoned ranger station. Should buy us a night. The puppy whimpered softly in Emily's lap. She hushed him gently. "We're okay, buddy. You're safe." But none of them believed it. Not without Rex. Jake finally broke the silence. "You think he made it out?" Tara didn't answer, her jaw locked tight. They reached the ranger station after midnight. The place was old, overgrown, and silent. Jake checked all angles. "Clear. No movement." Inside, the lights flickered once before humming to life. Emily laid the puppy down on an old army cot. "He's warm, breathing steady." Tara stood at the window, watching the trees. Jake came up beside her. "You know he's not just gone. You trained him." "I didn't train him to survive this," she whispered. "He's Rex. If anyone makes it back, it's him." But Tara said nothing. Her fingers brushed the pendant around her neck, an old canine tag. Rex 913, the dog that never quit. Morning came with no answers, no sign of pursuit, no sign of Rex. Emily prepared formula for the puppy, now more alert, wobbling on tiny legs. "He's strong, almost aware." Tara turned. Whitaker said he was the first of a new line, built for absolute loyalty. "But he imprinted on Rex," Emily said. "He follows Rex's scent, his movements. He mirrors him." Jake leaned forward. "So if Rex is gone—" Tara cut him off. "He's not gone." She stood up, and then her phone buzzed. One message. "Unknown number. Check the feed." Her blood ran cold. Jake scrambled to pull up the secure laptop. "Which feed?" Tara typed fast. "Port Haven's reserve backup, the one Whitaker used for off-site monitoring." The screen flickered, then loaded. Footage. Grainy. Static crackling. A hallway. Industrial. Concrete walls and steel doors. 3 guards patrolled. Armed. Then a shadow moved. Fast. Too fast. One man dropped, clutching his throat. Another spun. Too late. The last one screamed and vanished from frame. And then Rex, limping, bloodied, breathing hard, but alive. The camera caught his face, and for a second his eyes stared straight into the lens. "Holy," Jake whispered. "He got in." Tara said. "He's inside the compound." Emily's eyes widened. "But how? Alone?" Tara clicked through the feed. More angles, more chaos, lights flickering, security systems failing, doors thrown open. "It's him," Jake breathed. "He's taking the whole place apart." Another feed showed him standing over a console, barking. Once. Sharp. And then a door opened. Inside, cages, dozens, German shepherds, malnourished, silent. Until Rex barked again. Then they moved, alive. Alert. Some limped, some growled. But all of them moved toward the open door. Emily covered her mouth. "He didn't go back to fight." Jake finished for her. "He went back to free them." Tara's voice was low, steady. "He remembers what it was like, being caged, programmed, controlled." "They call it instinct," she said. "I call it justice." An hour later, the feeds went dark. Everything cut. They waited. No calls, no footage, no Rex. Then, just after noon, a low growl outside the cabin. Jake froze. "That was—" Tara flung the door open. And there he was. Rex, his fur matted with dirt, a gash across his shoulder, eyes alert, staring at them. And behind him, 2 others, German shepherds, emaciated, hesitant, and limping between them. Whitaker, bloody, alive, barely. Tara rushed forward. "Rex, you brought him back?" Whitaker collapsed to his knees. "The compound's done. Explosives in the generator room. He guided them through every hallway, every corridor, like he remembered the blueprints." He looked up at her. "They made a goddamn map in his head." Emily dropped to her knees beside Rex, tears running down her face. "You crazy, incredible dog! You saved them!" Jake crouched in front of him. "You're a legend, Rex. You hear me?" Rex wagged his tail. Just once. That night, they burned every file they had. Tara stood over the fire, watching it consume every record, every test log. No more codes, no more triggers. Whitaker, now wrapped in a blanket and nursing a busted rib, said nothing. His eyes followed the flames. Rex lay nearby, surrounded by the 2 rescued dogs and the puppy, who curled tightly against his chest. Tara stepped forward and placed a hand on his head. "No more cages." Rex didn't move, but his eyes closed. And for the first time in weeks, he slept. Chapter 8. The cabin was still. Morning light pushed through the cracks in the boarded windows. Outside, the woods were quiet, but not silent. There was breathing again. Movement. Life. Tara stepped out, steaming mug in hand, eyes scanning the tree line. Rex was already there, posted like a sentinel at the edge of the clearing. He didn't bark, just stared into the mist as if it still held secrets worth knowing. "You didn't just bring us Whitaker," she whispered. "You brought us proof." Inside, Jake pieced together the data from Whitaker's flash drive. Logs, names, GPS coordinates, hidden labs, silent buyers, names the public would recognize. He turned to Tara. "This isn't just about a dog breeding ring. This goes deeper. Trafficking, military testing, political connections. And they buried it under 9 puppies," she said, "wrapped in loyalty and fur." Emily fed the puppy. Stronger now. Playful. His tail wagged every time Rex passed by. He wouldn't eat unless Rex was near. "We need to do something with this," she said. Tara nodded. "We will."